Hello friends, welcome to the new session of BFM 10 minute show. This session is only for 10 minutes, not more than 10 minutes. And we are covering only one topic. Per day we are covering only one topic, not more than that. So without wasting any time, let's move on fast because we have only 10 minutes. Ciao, let's. Today's topic is import remittance and form A1. These are the two topics for discussion. Okay. So import remittance form A1. So let's start. See this. Import trade is regulated by DGFT, Directorate General of Foreign Trade. Kindly note these words. These words are of utmost importance, and I'll be continuing the series now for this import remittance because it's a part of your BFM. Okay. So Directorate General of Foreign Trade, or we call it DGFT. Okay. Under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Department of Commerce, Government of India. Okay. So DGFT works under Ministry of Commerce. I'll be moving a bit fast because we have only 10 minutes. Authorized dealer category 1 bank. Now what do you mean by this? AD Cat 1. These are all are nationalized and private banks. Okay. All are nationalized and private banks who are registered, mainly all of them are AD Cat 1 banks. Okay. We are allowed to do the trade related to your trade finance also, means import export also, and retail trade also. Both of them we are allowed. AD Cat 2 are like those Thomas Cook or those money exchanges are there. No? Those are AD Cat 2 banks. There are still many categories. AD Cat 1, AD Cat 2, FFMC, full-fledged money exchanges, RMC, restricted money changers. Many are there. So AD Cat 1 is ourselves. Okay. So AD Cat 1 bank should ensure that the imports of India are in conformity with the, kindly note the names now, with the foreign trade policy. Okay. Number 1. Second, FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act. Okay. Current account transactions, current, kindly note. Current means we are talking of bill of bill of payment and bill of trade. Okay, balance of trade. Okay, so here we are talking of current account transactions, import, export, balance of trade. Okay, rules 2000 framed by the government of India, wide notification number. But this is not important. If you don't remember it, that's okay. And the directions issued by RBI under for FEMA 1999 from time to time. So all your import transactions should be in conformity with these three rules. Okay, which are these three rules? Foreign trade policy, FEMA, and RBI directions. All the three. In exam, you get the questions on this only. All your import transactions, not only import, export also. Foreign trade, FEMA, and RBI directions. These are the three main guidelines. And of course, your bank's own directions, but bank's own directions are limited to the bank only. Okay, main is RBI guidelines, FEMA, and foreign trade policy. Okay, clear. Move on. Next one. AD Cat 1 banks should follow normal banking procedures and adhere to the provisions of UCPDC, etc. while opening LCs for import into India on behalf of their constituents. Means they must follow normal procedures. What do you mean by normal banking procedures? This is called as ISBP, International Standards for Banking Practices. Means what all is followed in the world for opening these LCs or dealing in these import transactions, you have to follow that. Okay, international standard banking practices, normal banking practices, whichever are followed in the world and in our country Bharat. Number 1, and adhere to the guidelines of UCPDC. What is UCPDC? Uniform Customs and Practices for Documentary Credits. This is mainly concerning the LC, letter of credit. For opening any LC or transacting under any LC, you have to follow UCPDC. For this, there is a separate exam, CDCS. We at Adda are taking the classes for CDCS also. Okay. So, UCPDC, you have to follow this UCPDC document for opening the LC. But it's given etc. also. Etc. means there are others as well. There are total 5 documents which are to be followed. UCPDC 600, ISBP 745, and now 821. Okay, URR 725, Uniform Rules and Regulations for Reimbursements. ISP 98, International Standard Practices for Standby LCs. EUCP 2.1. Not easy here. Foreign trade, imports are not easy. So these are the 5 documents. That's why I said the CDCS exam contains all these. These are followed throughout the world. Just to give you the background, these 5 documents are the main base of any transaction and they are followed throughout the world. It's a common practice. Whatever is mentioned in that is followed throughout the world. Okay, it's like the Bhagavad Gita. So, while opening the LC for the import into India on behalf of their constituents. Constituents means your buyers. Here, LC is always opened. Constituent means here is always buyer or importer. Because you are opening the LC. Whenever you are opening the LC, you are opening for buyer, importer. Compliance with the provisions of Research and Development Access Act 1986 may be ensured for import of drawings and designs. This question you might get it in exam. And you'll say, sir, it's not there in Macmillan or it's not there in any book. Nothing related to book. Anything related to the topic can be asked in your CAIIB exam. Simple. Okay. So this is something new which you are getting. For drawings and designs, what are these? These are basically your soft assets, drawings and designs, isn't it? This drawing and design is a soft asset. There might be a copyright on this. So this Act, okay, Research and Development Cess Act, it will have that point also, whether there is any copyright of somebody, that is to be checked. Okay, there are soft assets, copyrights, trademarks, patents, right? So many are there. So you have to check whenever you import anything related to your soft assets, drawings, designs, or some formulae, or some research, everything you have to follow. Okay. AD Cat 1 banks may also advise importers to ensure compliance with the provisions of Income Tax Act wherever applicable. Income Tax Act means where you have to pay the taxes, where TCS is applicable, tax collected at source, where is it applicable? So that you'll have to check. Okay. So it's not that simple, kindly note. And we'll be continuing with this series later also. Okay. Next. Where the specific regulations do not exist, AD Cat 1 banks may be governed by normal trade practices. Now what do you mean by this? Do not exist. See here, everywhere you can't have a rule. Okay, everywhere you can't have a rule because there are import and export goes on in various sectors. Tomorrow if somebody is exporting some design, some patent, some research work which somebody has done. So there might be no rules and regulations for that. For that, what do you do? In that case, follow the normal trade practices, whatever is followed throughout the world. So again, ISBP, International Standard Banking Practices for the same. Okay. AD Cat 1 banks may particularly note to adhere to Know Your Customer guidelines issued by RBI, Department of Banking and Operations. This is also one important part. Who issues KYC guidelines? Which department of RBI? We don't know. We only know RBI. RBI has various departments. DBOD. Okay, Department of Banking Operations and Developments in all their dealings. Okay. So KYC docs. Every customer should be KYC compliant. And now we come to Form A1. Applications by persons, firms and companies for making payments exceeding USD 500 or its equivalent towards imports into India may be made in Form A1. Remember the amount USD 500 and above. USD 500 and above. Any payment you have to make for import into India, you have to follow the Form A1 without fail. This question can come in exam. Okay. And to clear your exam, kindly follow our Adda 24/7 batches. The new batches have just now started. Use the code Y432. Say this. Okay, to get maximum discounts. Roughly 81% discounts are available now. Okay, so use it without fail. Chalo, this was about 10 minutes. Next 10 minutes we'll covering the import part.